Yo, what's up? This your boy Lowe's Footwork Wednesday. Yeah, we're out here for the college football weekend. Also, this is actually going to be the party in which they're going to host for the football playoffs. Now, you obviously got G behind the camera shooting all of this. This is going to be a really good time for us to really just have insightful conversations with some of the great talent that comes through. So you're going to catch it. You're going to catch it for sure. But like I said, this is Lowe's, G behind the camera. We got good content on the way. I'm Carlos with Work Wednesday. This is also our director at Work Wednesday. Work Wednesday is a platform where basically we allow people to come in, get insightful information to motivate the next generation. So I'm going to jump in with some questions. If you could talk to your 15-year-old self, what would you say?
I would say pay attention to learning who you are. It's a very simple sounding question. It's one of the most important things you can know. Everyone gets ahead of themselves. I did. I know I got ahead of myself and I was worried about what I want to do for a career and how I want to make a living, but I couldn't tell you who I was at age 15 or honestly even age 25. So I didn't know what my talents were, what my passions were, where do they overlap? Like that's the definition of a career. And so I'd go back and say, hey, before you get ahead of yourself, try and figure out who you are first.
I can agree with that. What is the most valuable lesson you've learned from your career so far?
Take care of the people around you. Just take care of people. You know, you're in a business that is really cutthroat in some ways, and you see that coming up. But honestly, when you get around people who have sustained success, one of the commonalities is they're normally really good people. They're really trustworthy, they're dependable, but you notice commonality is they take care of the folks who have helped them get to where they are. So in a lot of ways, that cutthroat nature, it's around you, but the folks who stand out above that are ultimately the ones who make it.
Gotcha. One last question for you. What would you say to anybody listening out there about just staying grounded and doing what they need to do to be successful?
Well, fame, success, it doesn't change who you are. In fact, hopefully who you are at your core earns you the ability to elevate in any walk of life that you're in. But I mean, the worst thing you can do is become something because of who you are and then sacrifice who you are, at which point you're not standing on anything. You're not standing on principles or values. And those are important words, whether you got nothing in your bank account or whether you're set for life.
Let's be honest. Right. So hopefully you can give them some insightful information. And one of the first questions I want to ask you is, what would you tell your 15-year-old self?
What would I tell my 15-year-old self? Keep doing what you're doing, son. You're on the right road. You're doing something right, brother.
Obviously, work for ESPN, right? All right.
Exactly what you're doing. You're on the right path.
Right. What would you say about facing adversity?
I say that it's part of life. You can't avoid it, so you have to take it on head on and do the best that you can to overcome it, but don't shy away from it. It builds character. Yeah, and so being resilient is part of, in my opinion, being human.
Gotcha. One last question for I gotta ask. Obviously, this is the national championship game weekend. Who are you going for and why?
I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm just here for work, baby.
Gotcha. Good answer. Good answer. Thank you, sir.
Hi.
Hey, Ms. Holly. I'm Carlos with Work Wednesday. I'm a producer. This is our director.
Oh, wonderful. Hi, guys.
So first off, what would you tell your 15-year-old self?
I would tell my 15-year-old self to be more confident. Don't let the outside world tell you what your value and your worth is. You decide it and go after it. It's hard out here, What was that famous movie? It's hard out here for a pimp, but I mean, it's hard out here for a girl in sports. So I would tell my 15-year-old self to be more confident and unapologetic.
What is the most valuable lesson you've learned in your career path thus far?
Hard work and going the extra mile pays off every single time. Like every single time I've thought, well, I don't know if I want to go out to that practice or go take that extra trip to see a team or go do that extra interview. I always do it. And it always pays off. So I know going the extra mile and working really hard makes me excellent at my job.
So we're at Work Wednesday.
Nice to see you,
Work
man.
Wednesday.
Great rush.
Yes, sir. Nice to meet you. Work Wednesday is a platform where we have insightful conversations that are rooted in reality. So we wanted to have an insightful conversation with you really quickly. Is that
I
cool?
don't know how is this reality? That's the blue carpet, right? I mean, come on.
Right. All right. So first, I'm going to ask you, how do you deal with the fame?
Well, you know what's funny is with what we do, there is a certain level of acknowledgement, and I guess you could say fame that comes with what we do. Now, where I live in the South, so I'm from Texas. I have been in the spotlight, I feel like my whole life. You know, playing high school football in Texas, like everybody knows the quarterback in high school in a small town in Texas. So I'm kind of used to that. But what I've come to realize now is that college football transcends most everything. Like NFL is the biggest, baddest property, the most awesome platform that you can have. But man, I'll tell you what, that gap between college football and NFL is not as big as I thought it might be, right? So it's been cool to see how many people love our sport. And I think too, in my situation specifically, we have been with Notre Dame the last few weeks. So we've called the last 3 Notre Dame games. My last name is McElroy, MC. My partner's name is Sean McDonough, MC. And then our sideline reporter, her name is Molly McGrath, MC. So the fact that we, as 3 MCs, have done multiple Notre Dame Fighting Irish games has made it unique, and it's been super fun. So we're really, really blessed. We're really lucky, and all the people that have watched us and watched the games that we've done, it's not about us. We just happen to be there watching teams and trying to explain what the heck just happened on the field to the people that are consuming it all over the world. And we're just we're in the right place at the right time with really cool storylines, and we wouldn't be where we're at if not for the teams, the brands, and the players more specifically, because they have a story that needs to be told, and we're glad to be the ones that can tell that story.
What do you do outside of work to enjoy yourself?
I'll tell you what. So I have 3 kids, and 5, 3, and newborn. So my oldest is a 5-year-old. He loves sports, all in. My middle, his name's James Gray. He loves Blippi, and so I find a lot of value in watching Mika and Blippi figure out how to run a fire truck. So outside of sports, I just want to be a dad. Like, to me, the greatest influence in my life is my dad, my parents. So I wish I had a social life. I'm afraid I don't, to be honest with you. So someday I'm going to have one. I don't know when that's going to happen, but it's going to happen at some point. Tonight, for about 2 hours, I get a little bit of social time, but the greatest thing that I get to enjoy outside of what I do professionally is to be a dad and to raise my kiddos and to try to allow them to be whoever they want to be. And if that's a pianist, if that's a football player, if that's a golfer, or if that's a mathematician, encourage them, empower them, and try to support them the best way I can. Because Dad has to go away a lot. So when I'm home, I'm home. And we're going to try to have a lot of fun. Watch a little basketball when I'm not on the road as well.
Congratulations on the newborn.
Work hard and keep your head down, man. Treat people the right way and do the right thing long enough, and usually good things will happen for you here. There's no substitute for making everybody that you're around feel like an important part of the team, because they are.
What is the most valuable lesson you've learned from your career so far?
I'd say the same thing. I mean, there really is nothing better that can be said about you than you're a good teammate. Wherever you go, whatever group you're in, strive to be the best teammate to everyone you possibly can.
Work Wednesday is a platform that we allow people to come on and have insightful conversations rooted in reality. So we want to have a quick and insightful conversation with y'all. Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right. So let's go. First, I'm going to start with you, Mr. James. Tell me, what would you tell your 15-year-old self?
Oh,
You know, that's a great question. I think I would tell my 15-year-old self two things. Number one, put your faith in Jesus Christ and allow his will to be done in your life. Number two, have more confidence in yourself. You are a blessed young man with a lot of potential and a lot of opportunities to set yourself up for success.
Ms. James will ask you the same thing.
I would have to back that up. That is so good. But obviously, being a younger girl, I feel like a lot of younger girls look at models these days and social media and all that stuff. And I want to tell all those little girls out there, like, don't see whatever you see out there, don't like put it towards you. Like, it's totally like different. And, you know, you're a beautiful young little girl and you'll grow up to be a beautiful woman. So
Last question for y'all. What is the most valuable lesson you've learned in your careers?
Ooh.
Did I catch you off guard?
No.
I'll start.
Go ahead, you can start.
My high school assistant basketball coach told me to never say can't in anything. So I will always take that and always remember that. So I say I
Never say
will
you
never
can't.
say I can't.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's a good one. Oh man, I feel like I've learned so many valuable life lessons. I think the one that just popped into my head as soon as you said that was happiness is based on circumstances, joy is based on Jesus. And I've continued to live my life that way, that no matter what happens around me, I've got Jesus, and that's enough and will always be enough for me.
To have a quick, insightful conversation with you, if that's okay. All right. So, first question: what would you tell your 15-year-old self?
Fail faster.
Fail faster. Next question: what would you say has been the most valuable lesson learned in your career path?
Always trust your gut and consistency.
I want to take a moment to have a quick, insightful conversation with you. All right. So, very first question: what is the most valuable lesson you've learned from your career so far?
Most valuable lesson that I have learned in my career so far: resilience. I think that no matter what happens, you have to always be able to bounce back. And I think being able to just continue to pave the way, bounce back, and you can do anything. So yes, there's definitely that.
How do you manage the challenges of fame?
I just stay myself. Authenticity. That's it. Stay myself.
Period, huh?
Period. That's it. Stay myself. Don't change up. Don't switch up. Just be authentically me at all times, and just that's it.
How you doing, man?
Doing good.
I'm Carlos.
Nice to meet you, Carlos.
So, very first question: what would you tell your 15-year-old self?
Man, dang. He'll probably be like, I don't even know, man. I just tell him keep going. You know, everything happens for a reason, so don't get caught up. Don't get caught up if it didn't go your way. You know, stay focused on the next thing and stay true to yourself.
What is the most valuable lesson you've learned in your career thus far?
Ah, man. Most valuable lesson. I mean, shoot, being honest, being truthful, like just being me, really. That's about it. Yeah.
Oh, be fierce. I would tell my 15-year-old self, be fierce, don't be afraid, and everything that you believe you can do it.
I would tell him to be fierce and make sure that he fear no one at all. You know, respect without fear. Just go out there and do your thing.
Gotcha. What are you most passionate about outside of your careers?
I'm passionate about giving back to the community. So I own a nonprofit called Ballin' for Lupus Loves Foundation. So our mission is to make sure everybody knows what lupus is, bring the awareness to lupus, and also to aid in funding so we can find a cure for it.
What about you, sir?
My passion is just giving my energy to everyone that I meet. You know, the kind smile, you know, the wisdom that I've learned over my years, and music. I love music too. So that's my passion.
So we would ask you a question like, what would you tell your 15-year-old self?
Okay. I would tell my 15-year-old self is be intentional. Everything you do needs to make sense and make sure it aligns with your future.
What way do you keep yourself motivated through adversity?
What way I keep myself motivated is pretty much just staying inspired by, people around me, my peers, and people who motivate me. So anybody that's in my field, I just look at them and just kind of get motivated.
How would you describe yourself in 5 words?
Likes to have a lot of fun.
Not bad, not bad. All right, the next one is, how do you manage the challenges of fame and public scrutiny?
Have a thick skin, don't take it personally, and keep on driving. Never quit. Never quit.
I don't think nobody could have said it better. To inspire the next generation, so we wanted to have a quick, insightful conversation with y'all, if that's okay. All right, very first question. What are 5 words you would use to describe you?
Wow, really put me on the spot. I would definitely say intelligent, beautiful, friendly, loyal, and I want to say something regarding like faith, but I'm trying to think of the word. Faithful, but in a godly way. Yes.
What is the most valuable lesson you've learned in your career path?
I think you have to move at your own pace. There's a season for everything. I think oftentimes we make the leap, not understanding just how far we're leaping. And, when you do things at the right time, you find yourself landing on solid ground and, you land on both of your feet. So, yeah, I think that's the best lesson that I've learned thus far. And I think my wife would definitely probably say the same. But, yeah, just take your time, and there's a season for everything. Yeah, you'll know when it's time to leap.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Work Wednesday is a platform where we have insightful conversations, and it allows you to motivate the next generation. And obviously, we've seen you on social media. You do a great job of that. So we want to take a quick moment to have a quick, insightful conversation with you.
That's hard. I like it.
Yes, sir. So first off, kind of walk me through, obviously you do the great impact that you do across the globe. Why do you choose to do that?
Man, it's purpose driven. I feel like God gave me a purpose. I'm out here trying to use my voice and follow the plan that He got for me.
What 5 words would you use to describe Mr. Vic Blends?
Oh man, hey, look, whatever the people think I am, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't here to sway no decisions.
Gotcha. Last question for you. What would you say to the next generation about staying focused and on the right path?
Yeah, man, stay planted, stay locked in on what you got going on, stay focused on the purpose you got in front of you, man. So don't ever take your roots out of the ground. You know what I'm saying? Spring come back around and you'll grow back even stronger.
I want to take a moment to have a quick, insightful conversation with you. All right, so first off, tell me 5 words to describe you.
I would say outgoing. I would say beautiful. I would say strong. I would say independent. I would say courageous.
What would you tell your 15-year-old self?
I would tell my 15-year-old self that nothing beats failure but a try.
How do you deal with fame and the scrutiny of being famous?
I feel like it comes with the territory, so you have to stay prayed up and, just always try to learn, well, at least learn to, tune out all of the rah-rah. It's not always easy, but it's necessary.
First off, tell me, what would you tell your 15-year-old self?
Oh, I would say to trust her gut. I think growing up, I always looked at the things that I lacked, and I thought that I didn't have sufficient information to make the right decisions, but understanding that looking at my surroundings made me more than resourceful, even though I didn't have just as much as other people. So just really learning to trust my gut.
Last question, give me 5 words to describe you.
Oh, so I'm going through my 2025 rebranding now that I just finished Miss America. I would say, okay, so I have authentic, because I think it's important to show up as your authentic self and showing the world what that means. I had intentional, because I think it's very important as I'm, making decisions of like brands that I want to work with and stuff like that, that they are true to who I am as a person and the advice that I'm giving young girls. I said authentic, I said intentional. I would also say discipline, because this past year in 2024 showed me that I actually can be very disciplined. Impact, because I think with everything that you do, it's really important to leave an impact. It's honestly your brand, it's your legacy. And the fifth word, hungry, because I'm coming for everything that I deserve.
All right, so very first question. What is the most valuable lesson you've learned in your career thus far?
Oh man. Well, I've learned a lot of really valuable lessons, but one of them is better to be a cool person than to just have a cool job. So to make sure that you're always setting a baseline. Hey, Tip. That's cool. Good to say hi to T.I. So to make sure that you're always setting a baseline for who you are, holding true to whatever morals and values that you hold, important to yourself, and making sure that you're checking in with yourself to, keep that aligned with who you always thought you would be at the beginning.
What are 5 words that you would use to describe yourself?
Quirky, fun, anxious, introspective, and I don't know, ratchet.
Gotcha. I get it. So last question for you. How do you manage the challenges that come with fame and scrutiny?
Well, a lot of therapy, but also I think, it really does go back to having a really core group of people that you trust and love around you. They hold you accountable when you're wrong, they talk to you about it. And for me, it's awareness and accountability. I am wrong. And sometimes the public calls you out on that, and it's a moment of reflection. And sometimes, it's just what it is. It's social media. You really can't read too much into the hype, good and bad. It's kind of all bad. So I mostly just lean on my friends and family to hold me accountable and make sure that I'm, representing myself in the best way possible. And the rest of it is sort of noise.
I must tell you do a great job on ESPN. I watch you all the time.